So, when will Bitcoin reach that all-time high? What do you reckon? So hi everyone, welcome to another video. If you are new, please do leave a like, subscribe, press that subscribe button, and obviously tap on the bell. Really helps. There's a lot of people that are not subscribed, so please make sure you do. New hoodie, by the way, hope you like it. Company-based one. By the way, check out the YouTube channel. Reason being, a lot of people are asking questions about this platform here. It's TradingView. I will be doing some videos on there, tutorial-based stuff. Ultimately, we're going to be releasing a little free course. Going to be 8 to 10 lessons, tutorial-based of how to do certain things in the space. So, for example, TradingView. You know, good way to start. Certain wallets, how to use them, how to use certain exchanges. So please do make sure you check it out over the next few weeks. I'll be drip fed onto it. Hosted by yourself truly. Hi. So, I said last week, we're going to be doing this every single Thursday. Thursday, what should we call it? Technical Thursdays? Something like that, I don't know. Analysis of some coins. So, like I said last time, drop some comments of what you'd like to analysis to be analysed. There we go. And I've picked Bitcoin, obviously, XRP, Litecoin, and Civic for this one. I'm going to go through them. We're going to go through, you know, the three altcoins essentially from nakedness. So basically basic charts from the top to bottom. And we're going to talk about them in terms of where they can go and why I think they're important to analyze now rather than later because of certain things in the market. But we need to talk about Bitcoin. All-time highs. Now, I need to remove that off my screen. There we go. I had something weird on my screen. Odd, I know. So, we've had this monumental rise. Just look at this from, what, the 5th of September, right? Where we hit a bottom area, went consolidated for a few days, and boom, rocket ship. We've not had many retracements, which is why I'm skeptical of trading at the moment. I'm just chilling out. I was in a trade yesterday, pulled my profit out of there. Happy days with it. It made money. It was chain link, by the way. And I'm kind of dubious. The only thing we can talk about is the first green zone here, which is actually an extension level, by the way, I know, to the second green zone here. So this was a previous extension level. It is now support levels, 14,000, 15,000, give or take. And now we're up at, obviously, these levels. High. So what have we found ourselves? Well, we found the obvious. You buy at support, and you sell at resistance, right? Now it's going to retrace. Now, when you look at this in terms of a pullback, we've got a different situation. We've got this wick here, which you could technically argue could be the start of the move, or this pullback here where it went off again. But personally, I'm going to go from this wick area here where this support level is. Reason being, it makes more sense. So if we're looking from this point alone, from this retracement of this impulse wave, I personally believe we are going to go down and retrace this gap, all right? This entire move here from 14.8, give or take, to roughly where we've just been, it's vitally important that we may well retrace from that point because it is going to be a resistance level. It's going to be an area of supply. It's going to be distribution phase, essentially, of profits. People have to take profits. It's vitally important. So with that, this impulse wave alone, we've got to start seeing some sort of pullback. Obviously, Fibonacci is going to be used in different ways. And as I say, if you want to learn more, links below. You will probably see how I do certain things in a minute. But, you know, if you're looking at the overall move, you know, from the start of the year, it may well retrace a much bigger depth. You know, you got to think of that. You got to think, well, where can we go? Can we start retracing from this point here? Well, yeah, we can, realistically. But you got to take each step as it comes. Got to look at the fabrication of what is online here. The fabrication of what it's printing is simple. Hello, there's an area here of interest. Hello, there's an area of interest here. There's an area of interest here. What happens if we break below these certain previous levels? We're going to start going deeper and deeper and find out where the bigger levels are. So, what you're thinking now, well, when all-time high, Ash? When all-time high? Well, again, going back into the future here and thinking, well, where can we go? Well, the next step and the obvious step is simple. This could send us to all-time high, this next move. This next move could send us to all-time high. Why? Well, if we do retrace and it is a continuation of the trend, which it is strong, it's still holding, still an uptrend, obviously, it does have to correct at some point. The corrections can be small at the start, and then they get bigger and bigger depending on the bear trend, obviously, you know. So the simple lines could be, well, this could be the top from the local high. We could go down to here, which is 16.8, or we could go down to the 618, which is in course in and around where these fibs are, EMAs are, and stuff like that, fibs, in and around where this box is, right? Could easily be into there, could actually, you know, it could be sent right now, essentially. And then extension levels are obvious. That is pretty much all-time high. That is beyond all-time high. So that could be the next move. And if you look at the weekly time frame, and you want to kind of see where things are, if you put your cursor on there, that is pretty much all-time high. Scary, isn't it? Absolutely scary. You know, everyone says 20k, but it's actually 19,600 ranges, give or take, especially on this chart. So that could be one more move. Are we one more move away from all-time high? Who knows? You know, crazy when you think of it that way. As I say, take each step as it comes. There's no point doing bearish scenarios because we're in a bull trend. But as I say, if we do go deeper and it starts to turn, it starts to go into a downtrend, you can start maybe deepening that Fibonacci and seeing where can it go as, you know, bigger local bottoms, as you want to call it. But there we go. Potential all-time high incoming very, very soon. Who knows? So let's talk about XRP first, okay? So XRP, love it or hate it, it's a good market maker, good market mover, and we're going to do a full top to bottom analysis, okay? So as I said before, people trade in different ways. A lot of people comment going, oh, it's just this, that and the other. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, analysis is analysis. If you've got basic structure on your chart, you can probably read quite a lot. Now, the one thing that I look at more than anything is a weekly time frame. It's really boring for some people, and some people are like, well, why the weekly? What's so good about the weekly time frame? Well, it gives you a lot more clarity in terms of what's happening. Now, the first thing that I always do is I go from the previous level to the previous high, right? Previous low to the high, and then find out where the structure is, because this gives me some good information. What does it give me? It gives me key lines of structure and also future levels of extensions where we could be getting some interest. So that's a first move, simple as that. Now, I'm actually going to draw this a little bit, you know, actually, no, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Because you're going to start seeing certain things when you go back in time. Now, with this, we've got to start drawing some levels on. The first one is the obvious one. It's already been and gone, but for future reference, that could be a very, very strong level. You just do not know. And again, I want to make these as small as possible so it looks neat and tidy. And that's a good place to be. The next level is obviously this breakout here, which happened obviously throughout this week. And then what we've got as well, I'm not going to bother about this one here, but what we've got here as well, we've obviously got this top level here from the past. Okay, that's simple structure. We already know already there, we've got some real simple structure. But we've also got stuff for the future as well that we need to keep a massive eye on. We've got this extension up here, and we've got obviously this extension up here, right? I'm just highlighting these to make them more obvious. I don't always put them all on, but for the purpose of this video, makes sense really. Let's just make these a little bit more easy on the eye because I'm quite OCD with all this, by the way. You've probably noticed. OCD is not something to... It's not the sort of thing that's like normal in life. If anyone's got like OCD, it's usually about something stupid, but this really is very stupid, in my opinion. There we go. Right, that'll do. That'll do, that'll do, that'll do. Oh no, oh no. That's alright, oh, I don't care. Anyways, so that's like simple levels, but we've got another one to look at as well. The reason why we've got to look at another one is because when you start thinking, well, what about the other way around? Where can we go? Where's the resistance? So we've got this top level here, which we've just kind of highlighted, but we'll go from the other way around now, okay? And when I do the next load of analysis, we won't do the same thing. Now, this is where it gets interesting and where you got to look at certain things. This is obviously the downtrend potential, where we could be looking lower, you know, we could be looking lower. And when you start considering the fact of all these kind of movements, we are technically in a bull trend. You know, when you look at this, that's why I've gone from that way. But what you need to mark as respect is these levels of resistance, because it could actually do this. We could actually do the total opposite in terms of the trend and go, well, actually it's rejected. We could actually reject and go down here and then look to form lows. And if it does try and form another low, well, yay, happy days. But it may not happen. So we've got to keep an eye on these. So make a note of these levels. But when you look left, vitally important level there to keep a note of. And what I tend to do with this, I tend to do this. I tend to just draw a little line there, knowing that that is a key level of resistance from the past. So that's it, simple lines. And when you go into the lower time frames, bear with me, remove that, you start to see it in much better detail. And this is where you start looking at current lines of structure. Well, what have we got here? We've had a huge consolidation range here, and then we finally went boom, blasted off through it. But where can we go next? We've obviously hit resistance level, which is a previous level, the 786. But now where's the next step? Well, the next step's obvious in my opinion. You're going to go from this level here to this level on the daily time frame to find out where is the key levels. I want to tell you exactly where it is. Where should you be looking at buying? Now, if you want to answer, you can, but they should be a very obvious clue that we're in an uptrend, we've peaked, we're retracing, and you've got a huge level of previous levels of resistance and a previous level of support here, marked out from the key psychological levels on the weekly time frame. That should be telling you that there'll be orders in and around this area, and this area to send it. It doesn't break structure, it will continue the trend. Now, this is why things get interesting. When you then look further out and you look at the confluence between the chart, then you start getting a little bit giddy and going, oh wow, look at the extension levels of this daily. It's right where that previous weekly one is. Kind of becomes very obvious when you start looking at chart structure. So the next level could actually be 33 cents for XRP. Simple way of doing it. So when you're looking at this, it's chart analysis, it's pulled back. We're still in a bull trend. Unless we fail and we break below these regions here, you could probably cut the trade. This is why you only use 1 to 2% risk. Ladder in some nice orders. Keep it nice and sweet. Don't have to blow the bank. And then the risk reward on the daily time frame is much higher. You make a lot more money over time. You've got to be patient though. So if we're looking for a potential area here where it's like it's zipping down, it's retracing into the trend, and then boom, that could be the next move. And if you're looking at risk reward in and around that region, by the way, and as I say, only risking so much of your equity, it's still a massive amount, and you've got current levels of previous resistance to test. And again, as I say, looking at the stop losses, if you can like put it just below the 618, you've got a decent 4.5 to 5 risk reward essentially. It's huge, right? Massive, perfect. So that's simple analysis on XRP if you wanted to trade that. For me, it's quite good. A big, massive impulse and a pullback is always the best move to trade because it's a wave cycle, and that is a big impulse wave. And yeah, we've got that potentially up to 35 or even up to 37, which is obviously an even bigger area from the past, which has got big confluence with previous regions as well, which we've already mapped out on the weekly. So that's that, simple lines there. Moving on to, we'll look at Litecoin. Litecoin, I think I've already preset this one. Let me have a little look at my Litecoin chart. I have actually. Ta-da. Oh no, wrong one. Ooh. Litecoin, hello. So same rules apply, right? What I've done differently on this one is I've got a weekly level here, big white level here, and then I've got my key levels. So in terms of how I map this out, if you look at the weekly time frame, you can see it. Essentially what I've done is from this level here, okay, this is levels of resistance from the past, okay? So you got levels down here, you got previous levels of resistance. I've already broken them out, but I've also had consideration to think, well, actually, where's the start of this move? If you go from this low to this high, then I've got the consideration of the high levels up there. So the reason why I did it that way around for this one was just easier because of the positioning. This one, I started this move from this bottom here, and I was literally watching this go towards these levels, and it absolutely blasted through them. And now we're on its merry way up to $80 essentially. That's the target level for this. So if you're looking for a potential target level, $80, and actually even higher than that, I think we've got it at about 81, then $96. So potential longs from those areas. So that they're already mapped out on the chart just to make ease of it, because I'm actually currently looking at this as an asset. And again, you're looking at the daily time frame and look at it. It's like high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, even bigger one. So what have we got here? We've got this level here we've got to look at. Why? Well, it's a previous level. It's a wick, and you've got all kinds of levels of confluence to the left, right? Huge importance. And again, you're looking at this region, you think, well, where can it go? Well, perfect. In and around this region. You've got this huge level here at 68. You got this 618 here, which is in confluence with previous levels, all the way on the, look, you can see the crosshair going all the way to this top level here, huge level. This could be the next continuation of the trend. Boom, off it goes from that point. But you got to remember, overbought conditions in the RSI could be a bit toppy, but you know, depending on that, if it does correct on the daily time frame and it does continue the trend and things are looking good, go for it. But as I always say, with the world of Bitcoin being so dominant, any dips in Bitcoin will create a bit of a ripple effect, and it will not work as nice as you want it because dumps will happen, volatility. But trend wise, looking good. Cool. And we'll do obviously Civic. I've not actually looked at the Civic chart ever in my life for a long time. We'll do obviously Tether. See, wow, we've got a lot of data. I can see why people requested it because obviously it's had a massive monumental rise. And we're going to look at this. So let's have a look at the weekly. Wow, that's crazy. So in terms of weekly, I don't have much data to go on. I could use another chart actually. Bear with me. Let's find another chart. CVC. The best thing to do, by the way, a bit of a tip to people if you are like new to all this, try and find a chart that's got a lot of data. That's a bit better. So we've got a huge, massive impulse here. And the only thing that we can do, realistically, is go from this bottom here to this top to see where it can go. We've already seen it wick to this point here. That's all we can do. You know, that is it. Simple lines. One thing is, obviously, people always want to invest in stuff like this because they've seen it. They go, oh, wow, why is it exploded? You've got to be patient. And this is why Fibonacci is really good to see where previous, you know, where the buyers step in. And when you like look left at certain areas where you know it's got some levels of structure in and around this region, in my opinion, I would leave this alone just to see if it cools off. But, you know, when you get that sharp boost, especially when you think of it, it was fundamentally driven by news developments and exchange listings. That's just one of the things. So what have we got here? We've got simple levels of a retracement. You know, if you're looking to invest in this, you know, it's majorly blowing. It's like huge money. Like when you think about it, that's Jesus, 647%. When people say, oh, you can't make much money in crypto, well, if you were holding that and you bought at the lows and you were accumulating at these bottom ranges, you've made a big amount of money very, very quickly. So personally, I think it's going to come lower. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest if we go back down to this level, in my opinion, when you look at the previous levels. So just keep an eye on it. But, you know, overall analysis, like if this does find support and it carries on running from this point, it could actually go a lot higher than that previous level and retrace previous regions from the past. It's been a lot higher. So yeah, simple analysis. I hope you enjoy. There's not much to work on this chart, obviously, because of the way it is, the way it kind of not been trending, but a big boost like that, always wait for a retracement. Fibonacci's are amazing. Always look at the 618. Great place to be, in my opinion. But for me, because it's so driven by news, I'd just wait, just chill on that one. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, hit the bell button too. See you tomorrow.